Must not be any notifications going out tonight. Yeah, there, I got one in. Hey, Josh. Yep, you're number one tonight. Still raining here. I just looked at the weather forecast, the map and stuff, and it's showing that we're supposed to have thunderstorms right up through to Saturday. So I guess I won't get a whole lot done this week. Yeah, it just makes time drag when you're sitting here with nothing to do. I mean, it's either watch TV or YouTube. I went out a little earlier there on the front porch to check and see how many kitties were in on the front porch and they were done. That's when I made the video earlier. And I went back out later and refilled their food dish, and I had one come up there then. He's still laying on the front porch. He was already wet though. So I don't know where the rest of the kitties are. Yeah, that's true. I mean, tonight there is stuff on TV now that started at 8 o'clock that's, Chicago ER, Chicago Fire, and Chicago PD. I like all those shows. Or over on one of the other channels that I watch quite often, the older westerns. There's an Audie Murphy western movie. Hey, Ira, how are you tonight? Or I guess I should say morning for you. It's still raining. It's been raining since before noon. Hasn't let up yet. That video I did earlier this afternoon, where I was showing the rain. I mean, it's been raining hard enough that between the sidewalk and the house there, it was just puddled with water. It wasn't even draining off yet. But that'll make the grass green up and grow. Then I'll have to mow. I was out a few days ago and again yesterday just pulling weeds in the yard. Yeah, I don't miss the snow. I miss it at Christmas time. But other than that, I don't miss the snow. I mean, I lived a lot of years up in northern New York, so I used to have to shovel the snow all the time and driving it to get to and from work all the time. Well, it gets hot here too. That's what I tell people. Florida is a lot like the Philippines. I mean, we have the hot, rainy weather and stuff like that and whatnot that you have. The only difference is in the wintertime, we get, spells here and there where we do get some cold weather at night. I mean, we will usually get, a few nights during the winter that it gets down below freezing. 34 Celsius. It's pretty warm. Figured that wrong. 93, yeah. Hey, Jonah, how are you this evening? Well, this morning for you, I'm sorry. Well, I always try to make them. I stayed up late there so I could catch that one for you. I kept falling asleep beforehand. I thought, oh, shoot, I'll sit here and wait, fall asleep, and then miss it. And look, then tell you, I slept through it. I was glad to be there and see it. I didn't realize you were a volleyball player. I haven't played volleyball since I was in college. I never played on a team or anything. It was just, in school volleyball. Yeah, if you got access to someplace like that for swimming, that's great when it's hot. And yeah, see, I played volleyball just like in gym class or whatever, phys ed class, whatever you want to call it, in high school. In college, just to grab easy credits for part of my college stuff, I took one class that was just volleyball. That's all we did for it. Easy way to make a good grade, but and it's fun. And anything you're doing that way, just same thing as you're running and hiking is good physical activity too. But like I say, I haven't played volleyball since I've been out of college. Basketball, just a little bit occasionally, once in a great while with friends, we're just, playing a game outside somewhere, but I haven't even done that in many years. There you go. You two are both doing the same through that. See, I never played on a team like I say. Mine was just strictly in school and in college class. When I was in high school, I played on the team sports for basketball, and I ran track. Played soccer 1 year. Then in college, as I said, the easy classes just to get a good grade. I took volleyball, basketball, tennis. So it ended up being a class, you just go and had fun and got a good grade for it. I used to ride bike a lot years back. I had a bike that my parents bought me for my 11th birthday. I took good care of it. Always, was never left outside at night or anything like that. Here's a few years back, when I first moved over here, I didn't have all my stuff out of my other house yet. Somebody broke in there, and that's one of the things they took was my bike. I'd had it 50 years, and then they stole it. Hey, Amor. How are you today? I was wondering if you've been busy or something. You haven't made the last couple of lives that I've done. You used to be at them all the time. Since JB's been in Manila, she hasn't been here either. Well, that's good to know, Amor. I'm glad to hear you're alive and kicking. But you're another one there with your videos. You've got so much activity that you do. I don't know as I've ever seen a video of you doing it. Yours snorkeling, scuba diving, or whatever, other than just the little clips you have at the start of your videos. That's something I've never done. I've always, okay, Josh, that's something I've never done, but always said, I'd like to try, to be able to scuba dive, but I can't swim well enough to get into that yet. So it's one of them things I'll probably never do. One of the other ideas I've been playing with here lately, once in a while. You can't do it there in Hong Kong? I really don't know. I mean, at the moment, I don't have plans because my big fallback is, well, two things. One, I'm not vaccinated, so they won't let me fly. And I'm one of them that's holding out saying I'm not going to get it. Maybe someday they'll say you don't need it no more. And the other is I have nobody to take care of my kitties. When I had my other kitty, their Shadow, put to sleep back in 2015, I said I wasn't going to get any more pets because they tie me down. I can't do stuff. And then Fluffy, the one you've seen here in the house, she came along and hung around for a while. I started feeding her, and I've still got her. And then it's just gone from there. Hey, Raina. Yeah, it's been raining ever since before noon today. And the weather forecast says it's supposed to still be raining right on through till Saturday. So I can't even go out and do Zumba. I have to sit here and watch it on YouTube. Okay. Well, see, it's like I say, something I've never done, so I know nothing about, the expense or anything involved with it. Oh, you're getting rain there too? Okay. Yeah, like I said before there, at least with the rain, I don't have to shovel it. There's no snow. And even though the rain cools it down some, it's still not cold here. Right now it's 20 degrees Celsius, 68 Fahrenheit. That's probably about the same weather you've got there right now, It's raining. It was up kind of warm earlier today. I don't remember how warm it did get. Okay, it was up to 30 here today, Celsius. That's 86 Fahrenheit. I want to be careful, Mike. Lean is going to block you. Well, that's fine and more, but I gotta get a one and only first. I just thought of something. Every time I come out here and do this, I just come in and start as YouTube, and I got a couple people that every time I do it, then they ask me, says, "Why didn't they use StreamYard?" I forget about it when I start. I've still got to figure out how to do that, and then do that where I can let somebody else come up and then they can talk. Well, you know how she gets in her moods, Mike. That's what I just said a little while ago, Rena. If I wait long enough, maybe eventually I'll get where they say you don't need the vaccine. I mean, they've already said it don't work. So why do they want to keep pushing it other than somebody's making money off of it? That's just like in the Philippines there, when they came out with everybody had to wear a face mask or a face shield. I think it's the only country in the world that I heard of that had to do that. But it was just because somebody over there came up with that idea and talked to somebody that they knew in government and got it pushed through that everybody had to wear one. So they made money off them. Kind of the same thing with the mask. I mean, every place you went, different companies were saying, well, theirs was better than everybody else's. Well, it was just a money deal. And most places here aren't required to wear a mask anymore. Some people still do, but you're not required to. I never did. Only place I ever wore a mask was when I went to the doctor's office. There, they would meet you at the door and wouldn't let you in until you had a mask on. But I only go to the doctor's once every 6 months, so that don't affect me that big, as far as having to wear it for 2 days a year. And go to the eye doctor, I only go there once a year. Well, I agree with that more because they develop it too quick. They don't know what they're doing with it. And since they've been doing it, they keep pushing, well, you need boosters. And then they're saying, well, the boosters don't work on $5.39 for diesel in Michigan. Wow. But now they're saying that even the boosters don't work on the new variants. Now, I heard somebody talking today, and I don't know whether they were speculating or if they know, for a fact, but they were saying that diesel up in New York State was, I think, either $8 or $9 a gallon. That's ridiculous. I mean, theirs is always higher anyways because their fuel tax is high, but You be part of the walking zombies later. When the rest of us go out and do the cave explorations there, we'll find you all sitting inside the caves going, ooh. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. And someday there won't be no vaccine needed because it'll be just like the flu vaccine that we have now. Every year they tell everybody, you should get that, but it's not mandatory. It's just recommended you get it. But most people don't. I've never gotten it in my life. Yeah, well, see here, we don't have to wear a mask here. Haven't for a long time. Well, that's true. And it's only going to get worse as the people in power play their games and stuff. Well, the thing, Mike, they always have more excuses about the reason for raising the price of fuel. All right. Upcoming summer, they say, well, there's more travel and stuff because the kids are out of school, people are taking their vacations, so the demand is higher, so the price goes up. And then here in Florida, come fall, that's when we get all the snowbirds back. So they say, well, there's more people here, the demand goes up, so the price goes up. Yeah, you got the flu vaccine, you got the COVID vaccine, and the booster. Now you catch measles. Well, they're already refusing the oil from Russia. I think the U.S. has stopped all import of Russian oil now. I heard a day or so ago, and I don't remember what country it was, that there was, I think, 2 tankers showed up at their port from Russia with oil, and the country, the dock workers, what you want to call them, refused to offload it. And then Ding Dong in Washington, he went and shut down the pipeline here. Well, it's a different kind of oil that they're running through that. But whatever it was used for, now they've got to use our other oil in its place. Everything seems to have a domino effect on whatever they do. And one of the other things that, they've been pushing for a long time, trying to go to these electric cars and stuff like that. Now the trucks. Well, yeah, that's probably true. It's already bought and paid for, but now they're refusing to take it. So that means Russia has our oil and their money. But they're pushing to get the electric cars and now the trucks and stuff like that. Well, if they raise the fuel prices higher and get them up too high, most people say, well, yeah, the electric cars is a good idea. Well, where does the electric power come from? Sure, they're pushing the solar panels. Some places they're running the hydroelectric, where they have the rivers and the dams and stuff. They're pushing a lot of them windmills. But there's still a lot of oil-fired electric plants. $60,000 for an electric car. That's ridiculous. I can't see the prices they get for cars anyways. I mean, and it's because, the wages have pushed up and everything else, which pushes up the cost of everything else. But I remember when I was going to college, one afternoon between class, I just took and went down to the local Cadillac dealer, just killing time for a brand new, would have been 1973 Cadillac convertible sitting on the showroom floor. $7,000. Hell, you can't hardly get a test drive for that now. Or they want more than that for a down payment. I was telling you there before, Mike, there about what Patrick was saying about that truck they were getting up there in St. Louis. He gave a little more detail on it the other day. It's a 2022 Peterbilt. I think they said it's a 159-inch sleeper. It's supposed to have the kitchen, the shower. I don't remember what else. He said it even also supposed to have a washer and dryer in it. It would have to be one of them little small apartment, compact size, but no, I don't have any problems with water in the house, Rena. One, my roof don't leak, and my ground here is high where water doesn't, collect, whatever. But if they're having the shower and the kitchen and washer and dryer and stuff in that truck, that means they're also having to have a water tank put in it and a gray water tank. That's adding a lot of extra weight that's taken away from cargo. Now, worrying about water in the house, Rena, is one thing No, my ground here is very high. If you remember back quite a while back there, that video that I did, where I walked down to the lake, I'm probably 25, 30 feet above the lake level. Well, yes and no, Mike. I mean, if they're only going to be doing this short term, then yes, it's a big expense they'll never recoup. If they're going to stay in trucking long term, well, it makes it, easier to live on the road. I mean, you know what you have to deal with what you have. There's another couple that live up, I think they're in Illinois. And damn, every time I try to talk about them, I can't remember their channel name. His name was Chris, and I don't remember hers now. But they've got a truck like that with a big box sleeper. But I was thinking theirs was a 230-inch sleeper. They went all out on theirs too. But they run for that outfit here out of Florida, and all they run is the step decks, hauling jet engines. So they're making the money. And then they took on the front of the trailer and on the catwalk in the back of the tractor, and made mounts to put both of their motorbikes, and they take them with them. So wherever they stop, they can unload the motorbikes and go bike riding. And the place they've got at home, they've done live streams before in the house, and they've showed videos and stuff out around the house. They've got cameras and stuff outside, but they're out in the country enough that a lot of times on their outside cameras, there'll be a half dozen deer or something out there in their yard. They're out in the sticks. There's another couple that was driving for, I think Landstar, but they were driving Expedite, straight truck, and they went and bought a big sleeper like that, the big box sleeper. But with the weight of the truck and the sleeper and all that stuff on it, they couldn't haul but, a low weight limit for the straight truck to carry. I mean, most of their loads are small anyways, but they recently turned around and sold the truck and got a big van, and that's all they're using now to haul with. They went and downsized. I don't know whether they were overextended themselves, whatever, because they went and bought a new Airstream trailer. They bought a new dually. They bought that that Freightliner with the big box on it, and they had changed it too, because I think they had a smaller one, and then they went and had a new one special made that was bigger, got all the bells and whistles in it, and then turned around and got rid of it and went to driving just a van to run interstate with. And then they quit doing their YouTube channel. But they used to put out videos about every day of their travels on the road and stuff, and had a lot of drone footage in them. Well, Mike, you got a little bit over a month to go before you head out. Are you getting excited or getting nervous? Well, I can understand that too. But if you spend all your time on the road, and don't get home like you do once a week or whatever, it's nice having the extra on it. You remember Jade and John, wasn't it? Now I'm not sure now if that's their names. The ones that were from Tennessee, they drove for U.S. Express, and then later they turned around and sold their places in Tennessee and quit driving and moved down here to Alabama and we're building a house down here. When they were on the road that way, they drove team. They only got home 6 or 7 days out of the year. The rest of the time they stayed on the road all the time. House van, what do you mean, Amor? You mean like a motor home? There are a lot of motor homes here that people use to travel with and go camping and stuff like that. Yes, and those are legal to run. Depending on what kind you get some that the front of it looks like a truck, and the back of it looks like uh, a camper, a trailer, house, whatever. Or you get others that look like a big city bus, and it's basically a house on wheels. And depending on how much money you spend on them, I mean, you can get them, with the bathroom and the kitchen and the beds and everything, and a TV in it, and all that stuff. And more, something I've never asked you before: can you drive? Because that'd be one of the things that you'd have to be able to do if you're going to go get you a motorhome. You have to be able to drive it. I have a neighbor down the road there that he's retired now, so he's kind of getting rid of some of his, as you say, big toys. He had a big motorhome, diesel, and I think he used to have a big, and I'm not sure about it. I think he sold it. But it was big enough, and had the down under deck to the place there where you could stay and sleep and whatnot, where him and his wife used to take it out of the water sometimes and spend 2 or 3 days out on the water and just sleep in the boat. But she away here several years ago, and so like I say, he's been kind of getting rid of some of his big toys. He's got a smaller motor home now that he runs around with. It doesn't take up as much space and stuff, and costs less to drive. Yeah, there's a lot of people get those more. They will travel with them, either going to the different national parks and whatnot, or go to parks and stuff to camp. Or like you say, you take a trip. That way you got everything with you while you're traveling. There are some people, big motor homes, when they retire and turn around and sell their house and plan on just living in the motorhome and travel all the time. I mean, and a lot of that sounds fun. It's nice to be able to get out and go places and see all the country and everything. Which the United States, remember, is way bigger than the Philippines, so there is a lot here to see. But a motor home or any of that kind of stuff there isn't like a house. That a house, if it's taken care of, the longer you own it, usually the more it's worth. A motor vehicle of any kind, even a car, the longer you have it, the less it's worth. And the maintenance on them, they don't stand up as well as a house does, because when you're going down the road, that's a lot of bumps and bangs and twisting and stuff on it. My parents used to have an Airstream camper that they towed with the Suburban, and they did a lot of traveling and camping and stuff with it. Then after they retired, they sold the Airstream, and they had one of them 3/4 ton GMC conversion vans, which the back end of it looks like a couch or whatever, the full bench seat across it. All electric. You push the buttons and it folded down and made a double bed. Had the captain's buckets both in the front and the middle that you could swivel, take out, whatever. And they took one trip around the U.S. with it after they'd retired and went to all of the national parks in the United States. But back then, gas was also cheaper too. Right now, it'd be expensive to travel. My neighbor across the road, he just switched from his Freightliner double bunk sleeper truck that he had with his company. Now he's in the day cab, just running local. And they've stripped it out practically to nothing to it, letting him carry more weight that way. But has no sleeper, has no passenger seat. And then they put super singles on it. It's a 2021 Freightliner. All he runs is flatbed hauling lumber. Lumber and drywall. Even the fuel tank on it is real small. I don't think it only has one fuel tank instead of having duals. And by the looks of it, I think it's only like about a 50-gallon fuel tank. So it seems like he'd be getting fuel every time he turns around. When he had the other truck, he started off running just in Florida, and then I think Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina. I don't know if he got into North Carolina or not. He originally started off, he was leave out, might be back Friday. Then a lot of times he was gone for 2 weeks. Now with the day cab, he's home every day. But like last night though, he left at 12:30 last night. 8:30 this morning, he was home. I don't know what time he'll leave out tonight. The night before last, he went out at 1:30 a.m. But a lot of these places that he delivers to, he used to deliver at Home Depot a lot. A lot of them that he delivered to, they only accept deliveries at night. And right now, this week, that you're doing that, tarping and untarping with this rain and stuff we're getting, would be a real pain in the butt. Everybody got kind of quiet. Only shows I have one in here. I just thought of something. Mike and Rena were here. Where's Ken and Maureen? Or is Maureen out spending money and Ken's at Western Union? with what you're talking there more about, the motor home, house van, as you call it, whatever. Look at it a couple different ways. The expense of that and what it costs to run it, but you got everything in it. Your bed and taking your clothes and all that stuff with it. Or the other, if you want to do a bunch of traveling, then you stay in hotels all the time. That gets expensive too. And depending on where you go, tourist areas, the hotel rates are even higher. I guess everybody left. Shows there's one here, but nobody's saying anything. Did I talk him right to sleep? Well, I guess everybody else got busy, so maybe I'll just go ahead and end this then. Sound like the rain's let up for a little bit. Go out and check on the kitties and their food dish. I still need to lock the front gate because when I came in it this morning, or on noon, so I'm going to go ahead and close this up. Thank you everybody for that was in and out, and I enjoyed talking with you all. Somebody else just came in. Now they left. And they're in. Marty, you changed names again? I can't keep up with you when you keep changing your channel name. Or you're using more than one channel, whichever. You confuse me when you do that. The same thing like when I get I was going to go the recommendation, for somebody's new video or that, and it'll say come up like that, and I'll say I don't even know who that is. Then I don't go. Well, this is your shopping channel. Okay. Well, yeah, it does say shopping on it. But there's so many people that I don't know why they're doing it, but keep changing their name on their channel. There's one Filipina there in the UK that just recently changed hers, and it's basically the same as what she had, but she's changed the spelling on it because she said that most people couldn't pronounce it, the original one, which is the true Tagalog spelling of the stuff. 1 inch of snow. Yeah. I don't know how much rain we've got. I haven't looked at the rain gauge since this morning when it first started raining. I just dumped it yesterday. But we've had rain here for most of the afternoon, and right now it sounds like it's quit for a while. But it's supposed to rain all night, I think. But like I said before, I don't have to show it. Well, anyways, as I was saying, appreciate all of you that, stopped by. And I will talk with you all on the next one. Good night, good day, whatever, wherever you're at. Talk with you later.